Words and non-violent actions are more powerful than any army. Martin Luther King Jr. was a great leader and hero in American history. He was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, and passed away on April 4, 1968. He was an American activist, humanitarian, pastor, and an amazing leader in the African American civil rights movement. King is best known for his advancement of civil rights based on his Christian beliefs. He did this through nonviolence, which was the most impressive part. He successfully protested racial discrimination in federal and state law. King received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. The Montgomery bus boycott. It was another event in the U.S. civil rights movement. It was a social and political campaign against the policy of segregation due to race on public transit systems of Montgomery, Alabama. On a Montgomery city bus, a 15-year-old girl refused to give her seat up to a white man. This caused an uproar. The campaign lasted from December 1, 1955 to December 20, 1956. 4 days before the boycott started, Rosa Parks, an African-American woman, was arrested and fined for refusing to give up her seat to a white person while on the bus. Martin Luther King Jr. led the boycott and was a prominent leader throughout the American civil rights movement. Throughout the boycott, there was no violence in the words of Martin Luther King Jr. The only violence that took place was the arrest of Rosa Parks and witnesses. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. This year, it is Monday, January 19th, 2015. It is an American federal holiday marking the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr.
We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring." And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghanies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last."
August 28, 1963. King delivered the speech and called for the end to racism in the United States of America. What is so special about Martin Luther King Jr. is he did all of this through nonviolent actions and the power of his words. This proves that nonviolent actions and words are more powerful than any army. Violence is not always the solution. Martin Luther King Jr. sacrificed his life for the betterment and freedom of others, all because he had a dream. On April 4th, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee, King was struck with a bullet while standing on a balcony outside of his hotel room at the Lorraine Motel. Martin Luther King Jr.'s life had a major impact on the United States of America. Even now, many years after his death, he is the most widely known African American leader of his era.